Hello everyone, it's Professor Gray here. Welcome back. Great to see you again. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. It's time for week 8. We're getting along here. This is, the halfway point of our semester. And you know what? I'm looking outside. I'm in our classroom, which is where I wish you were, of course. And it's a beautiful day. It's an amazingly gorgeous fall day here in Seoul. I hope that wherever you are, you're able to enjoy the day a little bit today. Or a lot. And I hope wherever you are, you're staying healthy, being careful, and getting your work done as best as you can. Everyone is sending me the emails on time. You're doing the work. Good work, everyone. A few of you had some excellent questions. Please keep up the questions if there's things you don't understand. Remember, if you get something wrong, and you figure it out, oh, I see what I did wrong, that's great. That's a win. Okay? It's just when you get something wrong and you don't know why, and you just can't figure it out, then you should ask me, and I'll do my best to help you understand that. A couple words here. So this week we have a regular week of class. I'll give you some homework. I'll ask you to email me by Thursday. Next week we will have our midterm test. Our midterm test will be reading only. Okay, the listening part will be all included in the final when I see you at the end of the semester. So the midterm test, I'm gonna alter the value of the tests because of this for your final score, but it's not gonna be much, and don't worry, I will explain it clearly to you. But the reason is the final is now listening and reading, and the midterm will be only reading. Anyway, the midterm test will be given to you during your class time next week. So next week there will be no lecture video. It will be a midterm test. So when your class begins, I will send an email with the test and a time limit, and you will have to complete the test in that time and send me just the answers. Okay? I will explain it in an email next week, Monday morning. So I suggest strongly that you check your email Monday morning when I send it to you. And I'll give more specific instructions, but just know now that when your class starts, at that time, you will get an email. You must be ready at your computer. Get the email, do the test, and send me the questions. Then I will review the homework from this week and the midterm test. I will review all of that in 2 weeks. In the next lecture video. Now, also, we're going to have a Zoom class, and I will talk more about that next week when I email you. But the Zoom class will be a short meeting in 2 weeks. We'll meet together. I'll get to see you. You can ask questions. I'll go over some of the material and so on. So next week is only the midterm test online through email. The week after, we will have a Zoom class, and I will explain things and review things in the Zoom class in 2 weeks. Okay? The Zoom information, I'll email you ahead of time, the time and the code and all that kind of thing. All right, are we ready to begin? Now, if you have questions about this, please include them in your email to me this week about the midterm. For now, I would focus mostly on the midterm preparation and questions about the midterm. Of course, any questions about the homework too. The midterm will focus on the first 4 units of reading, but there will be some comprehensive questions like the ones we saw in the pretest, the diagnostic pretest. I would encourage you to review the diagnostic pretest as well as the material in units 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, remember, it's reading only. There will be 3 reading passages. 2 will be new. You've never seen them before. And 1 will be from the book. It'll be one that you've seen, but I'll probably put a couple of extra questions in or change it a little bit. Okay, let's get to work. Let's start reviewing our homework from last week. Page 53, the Clovis culture. Okay, archaeology, Gogohak. Okay, so Gogohaksa, archaeologists have found sites places all over North America that contain similar tools dating from a period about 12,000 years ago. Okay, first of all, 12,000 years ago means exactly, well, 10,000 BC. So number 11 is A. They date from. Notice they date from, dating from, coming from. They have been carbon dated to see how old they are, and 12,000 years ago is 10,000 BC. 10,000 plus 2,000 equals 12,000. The culture that developed these has been named the Clovis culture after the site near Clovis, New Mexico. Clovis is a town in New Mexico. Okay, there's some geography here that might be confusing. New Mexico is in the United States. It's not in Mexico. Okay, Mexico is a country south of the US. New Mexico is one state inside the United States. Now they border each other. New Mexico and Mexico touch each other, but they are separate countries. That might have been confusing. If it was and you got this question wrong, that explains it. Anyway, no, number 12 therefore is not A, it is D. Where the first remnants of an ancient culture were found, remnants, remains, or in this case, artifacts, yumul. We call them artifacts. Art meaning like hand, made by man. Artifact, things that were made by humans are artifacts. Old jewelry, or a knife, or a hunting tool, that kind of bowl, that kind of thing. The tools are quite sophisticated. All right, sophisticated means sort of modern or advanced, cutting edge for their time. Okay, so a sophisticated cell phone means the most advanced or most cutting edge cell phone for this time. But it by sophisticated, it means for the time when it was around. Obviously, these tools are not sophisticated today, but for their time, they were very, very sophisticated. C, rather advanced. Now, A, so a couple of you asked me about this. Rudimentary is the opposite, really. Sophisticated means advanced, modern, new style, and rudimentary means simple or basic. All right, so those two are opposite. Paragraph 2, there's only one question, and that comes from the last sentence right at the end. A fact which suggests that the Clovis moved out rapidly throughout the North American continent. Okay, spread rapidly, number 14, B. Expanded quickly. Expanded, spread out, moved out, quickly, rapidly. Quickly means exactly rapidly. Synonyms. Always remember, look for those synonyms on these factual questions. Look for words that, look for an answer that sounds different but means the same thing. Too many of the exact same words is usually a trap, so be careful. Number 15, paragraph 3, line 2. They traveled in groups of 40 to 50 individuals, migrating seasonally, moving, right? Something that migrates, like, animals migrate for warm weather, or for food, or for mating. Whales and fish and all kinds of animals, birds migrate seasonally, moving according to the seasons, usually for summer and winter. Returning to the same hunting camps each year, number 15D. Okay, migrating seasonally basically means summer and winter are different. We call these people nomads or nomadic people. They move seasonally or according to where they can feed their animals or grow crop or get crops or get vegetables from the land, that kind of thing. Yumongmin in Korean, yumongmin, the English word is nomad, and the adjective nomadic people is commonly used. Okay, so we learned some good words here. Artifacts, nomad, nomadic, rudimentary, sophisticated. These are all good words to know, especially for academic English. Okay, so 15 was D. Let's move on. Again, any questions, send me in an email. Brown dwarf. Dwarfs. Remember? Nanjangi. Again, guess what? We're going up to the sky here. Yeah, we're going to study some astronomy. Well, a celestial body. Celestial means in the sky. C-E-L comes from the Latin word sky. So a celestial body is anything in the sky. A star, sun, a planet, anything like that. Has never quite become a star. It has a mass that is 8% or less than that of the mass of, notice the grammar here, a mass, okay, how heavy it is, that is 8% or less than that of the sun, okay? Very common, especially in academic English, than that of the mass of the sun. Very important that you notice that when you read. Number 16A, 8% is of course smaller. Paragraph 2, brown dwarf contracts, shrinks at a steady rate, steady, regular, constant rate. And after it has contracted as much as possible, begins to cool off. There we go, that's the key. As much as possible means maximum or finished, no more contraction, it's over, it's done. B, complete. As much as possible means that's it, we're done, complete. Number 17 is B. Moving on, in paragraph 2, after a period of 2 to 3 billion years, it's amazing how everything is relative, right? It reminds me that I remember when I was young, I saw an elderly man. I don't know how old he was. I guess he was in his 80s because he had a t-shirt on and it said 80 is not old if you're a tree. Okay, again, everything is relative. I applauded the old man. I liked that. After 2 to 3 billion years, its emission of light is so weak that it can be difficult to observe, to see from Earth. Therefore, number 18, A, okay? Its emission of light is so weak, its weak light makes it difficult to observe, see from Earth. There's that synonym. Almost every time in these factual questions, you'll find a synonym like that. That's a really good clue for the right answer. That's a good starting point to find the right answer. So 18 is A. Number 19, paragraph 3, line 3, 75% hydrogen. Therefore, 75%, number 19 is C. 3/4 of the core is hydrogen. I think that was an easy one. 75% means, of course, 3/4. The next one's a bit tougher. Number 20. Let's go. A white dwarf, in contrast, has gone through. Now, notice the question says white dwarf, number 20, white dwarf. So just look. And right there in the middle, it says a white dwarf in contrast. They're contrasting a white dwarf to a brown dwarf. But that right there, learning how to quickly scan and find a white dwarf in contrast, now you know the answer is coming for number 20. Burns hydrogen, long period it burns helium, and ends up with a core that consists mostly of oxygen and carbon. So what was it before? It was mostly hydrogen, but the hydrogen gets burned out. Now it is mostly oxygen and carbon. No longer mostly hydrogen. Okay? Mostly, another word for mostly is predominantly. See the connection here. Number 20, the answer is D. So it is now predominantly oxygen and carbon. It is no longer predominantly hydrogen. Okay, it's a little bit of a second step there, but you see the connection. Okay, answering these questions is finding the spot, finding the location quickly in the reading passage, and then looking for these synonyms and parallels. There's your answer. Last paragraph, number 21, line 2. Though planets are not formed in the same way as brown dwarfs, They may in their current state have some of the same characteristics. Share some characteristics, same characteristics or similarities. C, 21C. Share some similarities, have some of the same or similar characteristics. There's your connection. And the last one, Jupiter. Look at number 22. What's the key word here? Jupiter. Okay, the planet Jupiter. Here comes your answer. Jupiter in the question, Jupiter in the passage. For example, is the largest planet in our solar system with a mass 317 times that of our planet. Here we go. And resembles a brown dwarf. Resembles, similar, okay, looks like. I resemble my father in that we have the same ears, okay, looking like or similar to something or someone. It radiates energy based on its internal energy. So this scientific fact is a similarity, 22D. At least one respect in one way, one respect means one way, similar to a brown dwarf. Resembles a brown dwarf, similar in that, Okay, 22 is D. It's a tough one. A couple of you mentioned that it's tough. Yeah, these scientific ones are tough. Unfortunately, that's TOEFL. There's a lot of science because it's academic English. Remember, you don't have to be a nuclear physicist, right, to answer this. You just have to know how to first how to read the question, understand what the question's asking, look for the keyword in the question, find the spot in the passage where that keyword connects, look for the answer, look for synonyms. You can do it. It just takes practice. Step one always is don't be intimidated. More astronomy, brown dwarfs. Doesn't matter. Don't say that. Just say, I know how to read academic English. I know how it's organized. I know what the question's asking. Think about what you know, what you can do, and that will help you solve the question. Very good. Skill 6. This is new. We're moving on. Remember now, we're continuing on in the book, of course, but the midterm test is focusing mostly on skills 1 through 4. However, you will find all kinds of questions. So again, the work we do now is going to help, of course. All work, all practice helps. Negative facts. Okay, here there's 2 words to look for in the question, and they're easy to find because they're in capital letters. Okay, not, or except, capital letters. Right there, stop. Okay, take a breath. And think, think backwards. Left is right is left, right is wrong, wrong is right, okay? Because if you don't do that, you'll make a mistake. It's very easy to make a silly mistake here. Why? Because you're taking a test, you're rushing, you're nervous, you're a bit intimidated, you're sweating, you're answer. When you take a test, your mind as a student is programmed to look for the right answer. That's what you do. Good. This is why they ask these questions. They want to trap you. Now you're looking for the wrong answer. Your mind is not programmed to do that. When you are practicing in our class, I want you to do that. When you see the word not, I want you to just stop and just think, okay, opposite. Change your mind. Notice it and register it. Because if you go quickly, you just answer the question, you'll check the first right answer and you'll move on, and that right answer is wrong. So stop, think, read the question, and for practice. Now, this week, when you do these for homework, when you practice them, I want you to go a bit slower. Don't rush with the practice exercises. I want you to make a habit this week of looking at all 4 answers, A, B, C, D. Okay? Read them all. Because if you just read one and it's right, it's actually wrong. So get in a habit, a rhythm of like, right, wrong, right. C is wrong, therefore C is right. Right, wrong, right. B is wrong, so B is right. Take your time, develop a pattern, and you're more likely to not make a mistake on these questions. Let's look. The right answer, as I said in the class notes, is either not stated or not true. It's either contradicting or it's just omitted. It's not there. Let's practice. Moonbows. Moonbows. Many people are quite familiar with rainbows. Yeah, we all know what a rainbow is. But few are as familiar with moonbows. Rainbows are caused by sunlight hitting raindrops, right, and bouncing back. And then you see it when the sun is low in the sky behind you. It is raining ahead of you. And the light, bounces off the raindrop, and you get the, the spectrum, we call it, the spectrum of light. In English, it's Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, blue, green, indigo, violet. We learn it in school as Roy G. Biv. Anyway, the answer here is B. Now, A, let's go through it. This is what you should do to avoid mistakes and develop a pattern. A, the sun is low in the sky. Yes. B, the sun is in front of you. No, the sun is behind you. No. C, it's raining in front of you. Yes. D, the sun's rays are reflected off the raindrops. Yes. Yes, no, yes, yes. Yes equals no, no equals yes. B. Okay, right is wrong, wrong is right. Number 2. Moonbows are far less common than rainbows. They are formed in much the same way. They require a very specific set of circumstances to occur. When they do occur, they occur just after a full moon. Okay? A moon at its brightest has risen in the east, and just after the sun is set in the west. So this is a specific time of day. Sunset is a time of day, one time every day. So the moon has just come up. It's full. That's important. The sun has just set. The sun has just gone down, in the west, of course. And it's raining this way. So the moon acts as the sun. The moon is full and bright, and there's just enough light left reflecting off it so the light from the moon reflects off the raindrops, and it must be raining, blah, blah, blah. You must be facing west, of course, because the moon is now the new sun behind you, shining west, and the rain is west. So it's basically like a rainbow, but it's using the light of the moon, but it has to be after sunset so the sun doesn't interfere. A, where the moon must be in the sky, yes. B, at what time of day? Yes, sunset. That is a time of day, one time of day, one moment of the day. C, which direction you must be facing? West. I'm actually looking west right now, out of our window. I'm kind of looking, western direction. So when I'm pointing, it's actually the right way here. And D, which parts of the world? No, of course it doesn't say that. A, yes. B, yes. C, yes. D, no. No equals yes. Page 58, okay, notice quickly, not stated, not mentioned, not discussed, not true, not indicated, are true except. It's very easy to recognize these questions. It's also very easy to make a mistake. Don't make that mistake. That's why I'm telling you, don't rush. Oh, this is easy, I got it, A, B, A. No. Take a breath and make your brain think backwards. Notice it. That 2 seconds of focus can make the difference of a right answer or a wrong answer on the test. Let's practice. Flatfish. Flatfish. Korea, there's a very famous fish that, very delicious, that it's very common to eat here, gwangho, which is a kind of a flounder, I believe, in English. But anyway, flatfish are just all the flat fishes in general. Let's go ahead. Remember, each question, right is wrong, wrong is right. 5 questions, 5 answers. Take your time, take the amount of time you need, but not too long. Don't take all day. And then come back, and I'm going to review the answers for you. Go ahead. So the flatfish family are sandabs and flounders, like a gwangho. And they have an evolutionary advantage. They've evolved. They've changed it. They've changed over time, and over the more colorfully decorated ocean neighbors. In that, because they are able to adapt, change their body coloration to different environments. So in the way that, or this is how they do it, or because they can. do this. Yeah, most fish are very bright and colorful, and you know, sand dab flounders, guano, ugly. Right? You look at them, they're not beautiful, but they're delicious. And why are they ugly like that? Well, they have evolved. They can change to look like the bottom of the ocean floor. Sure, they want to hide. It's a kind of camouflage, a type of camouflage. D, number 1D. A, yes. B, yes. C, yes. D, no. They're not colorful. D is wrong. D is right. Line 3, these aquatic chameleon. Chameleon, same in Korean. The chameleon is the lizard that changes colors. Aqua, A-Q-U-A, means water. So these water, living in the water chameleons. Of course, they live in the ocean. Aqua, aquatic, like aquarium or Aquarius. They are flattened bodies that are well suited to life along the ocean floor in the shallower areas of the continental shelf that they live in or on around the continental shelf, the shallow areas next to land. Okay, in the US, the continental shelf is on the east side. There's this sort of shallow area that used to be land, and then when the glacier Bingha, when they melted, the oceans rose, and now they're underwater, but it's very shallow. On the west coast of the United States, where I'm from, there's no shelf, it's just ocean. In Korea is the opposite. The east coast here, the water just goes down deep, but on the west side, it's very shallow. So I guess if you go back thousands of years, the west part, the Yellow Sea, would have been either part of land maybe or very, very shallow, because even now it's still very shallow. Anyway, that's the continental shelf. Number 2C, okay? A, yeah, flattened body. B, yes. C, no. No, they live on the shallow part. No. D, yes, the continental shelf is the shallow part. Yes, yes, no, yes. C is the answer. Number 3, they have remarkably sensitive color vision that registers, notices, sees the subtlest gradations, the tiniest changes, the tiniest alterations in the sea bottom and the sea life around them. Around them, their surroundings. Number 3, A, yes. Okay, they are very, A, no. No, they are not sensitive to light. They have sensitive color vision. They're in the ocean, they're not sensitive to the light. So A is wrong. B, sea colors, yes. Okay. C, the sea bottom, sure, they live on it. And D, aware of their surroundings, the life around them. No, yes, yes, yes. A is no, A is wrong, A is right. Right. Number 4, chromatophores. Pigment-carrying skin cells, and they adapt, they reproduce according to the color and the texture of the ocean floor. Number 4A, they are skin cells. B, they are pigment-carrying skin cells. A and B together are right, so wrong. C, adapt to surrounding colors and textures. Yes. A, yes. B, yes. C, yes. D, no. Change the ocean floor? Of course not. They don't change the floor of the ocean. They change how the fish looks. And number 5, each time the sand dab or a flounder finds itself in a new environment, the pattern on the body of the fish adapts to fit in with the color and texture around it. Again, a type of camouflage. A, move to a new environment, finds itself in a new environment. Yes. B, adapt their behavior. No, they don't change their behavior. No. C, change color. Yes. Change texture, adapt the texture. Yes. Yes, no, yes, yes. B is the right answer. Got it? When I read this, I think of, when I go to places like Noryangjin, Sichang, the fish market, and I always get flatfish, guanga is one of my favorite fish for, sashimi, for hui. So I always feel a little bit guilty when I read this, but they are delicious. Next, one more, limestone caves. Okay, go ahead. I think everybody knows what a cave is. So go ahead and read limestone caves and answer 6 through 10. Again, don't rush, take your time, get into a comfortable pattern. Get used to answering these questions, these backwards opposite questions, okay? Go ahead, and when you're done, come back and I'll review it. Okay, limestone caves are filled with stalactites and stalagmites. Okay, we're going to learn about what those are and why they're different. Line 3, over time the lime-laden water drips down into cracks, enlarging them into caves. So the lime-laden, laden means holding or carrying, having a lot of lime. Momo-laden, X-laden, carrying a lot of X, holding X, heavy with X. In this case, lime. So number 6, rainwater dissolves lime. It dissolves dissolves the lime out of the limestone. That is true. True. The rainwater does dissolve the lime from the limestone. Therefore, A is true. B, the lime-filled water seeps in. Yeah, lime-filled, lime-laden. Yes, there's a synonym, but it's true. C, the lime in the water evaporates. No, the water evaporates, not the lime. Wrong. D, the cracks develop into big caves. Yes. Yes, yes, no, yes. Number 6 is C. C is wrong. C is right. Number 7, in paragraph 2, stalactites grow down from the cave ceiling, and they're formed when groundwater containing dissolved lime drips from the roof of the cave and leaves a thin deposit as it evaporates. So from the ceiling of the cave, here's the water comes through, here's the cave ceiling, and it just sort of drips down. But sometimes the water droplet stays, and it just stays there, and it'll solidify over time. And then another drop, and then another, and then another, and then another, solidifying, and it'll grow hard and into a sort of almost looks like an icicle coming down from a cave ceiling. And so number 7A is wrong. B, yeah, they're found in the caves. C, they grow downward. And D, they grow quite slowly, only a fraction of an inch every year, so maybe a centimeter a year, very slow. A, no. B, yes. C, yes. D, yes. A. Number 8, stalactites generally grow only a fraction of an inch in a year, but over time a considerable number may grow to be several yards long, several meters. A yard is almost the same as a meter. It's like 0.92 of a meter. In cases where the supply of water is seasonal, so you have a heavy rainy season and then no rain, so it's like rainy season and dry season. They have growth rings resembling those on a tree trunk. So you can see how old they are, right? Just like a tree. There's 1 year, another year, another year, another year. Number 8, A, yes. B, yes. C, yes. D, no. It doesn't talk about them disappearing. So D is not mentioned. So D is wrong. So D is right. Number 8, D. Last paragraph. Stalagmites are formed on the floor where water containing dissolved lime has dripped from the cave ceiling or from the stalactite above. So the water drips down and drip, 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 and slowly builds its way up. Kind of the opposite of a stalactite. Same concept, opposite direction. Number 9 is C. Yeah, they're not above, they're below, they're on the floor. So C is impossible. Therefore, C is the right answer. Number 10, limestone pillar. Limestone pillars, when the stalactite coming down and the stalagmite coming up over long periods of time, boop, they connect and they make one pillar. Okay, that's called a pillar. Right? Number 10, A, yes, the stalactite and stalagmite grow together. B, attached to the ceiling and the floor, yes. C, are relatively aged, mature. It says mature in paragraph 3, aged, older. D, are more durable. Maybe, yeah, could be, I don't know, but it doesn't say. D might be true, but it doesn't say. You never answer a question based on what you think is true or what you think is right. You answer the question based on what is in the passage. Number 10D doesn't say. Nothing there. Therefore, D is wrong. Therefore, D is right. Number 10 is D. Okay, great work today, everyone. Homework, passages 3 and 4. Okay, Wrigley's chewing gum and dissociative identity disorder. And the first reading review, John Muir. Have you heard of him? He's a very, very famous man in the US. He was one of our first great environmentalists. John Muir, it's a long passage and there's a lot of vocabulary. I'm warning you, but I want you to time yourself. Think of it like a practice test, okay? Page 63, 64, and 65. 13 questions. Time yourself. Try to finish in 20 minutes. Okay? If you don't, continue and finish, of course, but start pushing yourself to get done on time. When you email me this week by Thursday at 5 o'clock, I want you to tell me your time. A couple of you forgot. Don't forget. Okay? So passage 3 and 4, page 61, 62. Take your time, develop a good rhythm, get comfortable with the questions, no rush. But page 63, 4, 5, John Muir, time yourself, 20 minutes, tell me your time. If it's over 20 minutes, don't be embarrassed. Don't worry, you're not failing because of that. That's not the point. I just want to know how you're doing. Then stop. Okay, the next one, page 66, we won't do for homework. Okay, so send me the email by Thursday and I'll review this in a couple weeks because again, next week is our midterm test. Alrighty, let's move on to our listening now. I sent you the files this morning that go along with the homework and the work we are doing. Page 145, zoology, the opossum. Okay, again, you see all the headsets. This means you will listen again. You will listen again to parts of the conversation, and in this time we're listening for the function. Why does the student say mo mo mo? Why does the professor ask mo mo mo? Reason. Now, again, you can listen again right now if you want to review. You can listen before, during, after. I suggest you listen to the passage again, always. And we're going to. You can also, of course, look at the recording script in the back of the book. Here, the script, page 587. Obek Palshipchil, 587 and 588, if you wish to look at the script. Okay, number 10. Oh no, I think we're supposed to know what that is. Okay, now we are supposed to know. Yeah, she says we're supposed to know, but it doesn't mean everybody doesn't know. It means I don't know. When I say, oh, we need to know that, it means we need to know, but I don't know that, and I should know that. So we here doesn't mean everybody, it really means me, D. Yeah, she doesn't know what it is, but she knows it's important. Marsupial. Number 11, a little easier this one, number 11. Number 10, if you said A, sorry, but that's wrong. She doesn't know that everybody doesn't know it. She only knows that she doesn't know it. I don't know it, and we must know it. Maybe you know it, but I don't know it. Marsupial. Good word to learn. It's like a kangaroo or a wombat. They keep their baby in the little pocket or pouch when it's an infant. Number 11 is A. Not exactly right. Not exactly correct. Not right. Not completely correct. A. Number 12, you've got it. You've got it means that's right. That's it. You understand? Good job. C. And number 13, if 13 is, wait a minute. Remember, these mistakes are not accidents. They're a script. So even though it sounds natural, it's not. Expect a question. Here's a question. Number 13 is B. Where you can say, wait a minute. Means, I'm changing my answer or reconsidering my answer. Passage 4, Venus. Venus is the second planet from the sun, and in Korean it's called gold star, Gumsang. We're going to learn a little bit about why it's called Gold Star. Very interesting. Okay, quickly to go through the answers here. Number 14, listen to the function here. Why does the professor sound this way? She feels not so happy. She goes, well, you don't sound too sure of your answer. I mean, you don't sound very sure. You don't sound very confident. You don't sound very definite. Definite. D. She would prefer a more definite, certain, sure answer. Like, is this it, teacher? I think maybe. But the teacher is expecting, like, oh, I know. This is the answer. I'm sure. D. She was hoping for a more definite answer. Number 15. Well, things aren't always what they seem. Try again. Try again just means wrong. It means you got to try to answer again. Your first answer was wrong. C. Not correct. Number 16. Okay, come on. When you hear a teacher say, come on, it means they're not very happy. They're like, you should know this, right? Your teacher says, okay, so the answer is, come on, come on. It means the teacher's a little bit disappointed, not so happy because he or she expects you to know the answer. You should know this answer. A. Number 16. We'll hear that again a couple times this semester. Number 17, when a professor asks, like, well, could it be mo? They're suggesting an answer. Okay, B, number 17B. Could it be Venus? Could it be Mars? Could it be mo? I'm suggesting a possible answer. Just making sure you're paying attention. Teachers do that all the time. Number 19, that was number 17. Number 18, she just repeats it. I want to know about the clouds around Venus. So more information. Tell me more about the clouds around Venus. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Okay, in Korean you call it gumsang, gold star. Okay, why do you call it gold star? Well, it's a star and it's gold, but in English we call it the morning star, but then we also call it the evening star because it's usually the first star we see in the evening and the last star we see in the morning before everything goes away from the sun. Yeah, okay. So gold star, morning star, evening star, it kind of makes sense, right? But there's more than that. Why is it so bright? Well, it's close to Earth, relatively close. Remember the 80-year-old man, 80-year-old tree? It's relatively close, still too far to walk, of course. But that's not the only reason it's so bright. Number 19, wait a minute, oh, hold on, wait, not an accident. D, expect a question when you hear, oh, no, wait a minute. D, he wants to change his answer. But what are the clouds made of? Sulfuric acid. You remember fool's gold? Right? Made of iron and sulfur, iron pyrite. The sulfur was that bright yellow element that made it look like gold. So Venus is surrounded by sulfuric acid in the clouds. Well, if it's sulfuric acid, it must have a yellowish color. So therefore, when the sun reflects off Venus, it's even brighter because of the yellowish gold clouds surrounding Venus. Hence the name Gumsang, gold star. Just like, it looks like gold because of the clouds surrounding it. And that's why it's the morning star. It's the last one we see in the morning, and the first one we see in the evening. Very interesting. Let's move on. Stance, skill 4. Stance means position, literally standing. Where do you stand on this issue? What is your opinion? What is your feeling about this? So again, listen to the tone of voice. From how the person sounds, they could sound angry, happy, nervous, confident, uncertain. Okay? Of course, the voice and the words too can help you answer this question. Let's try page 148, 49, 50, the example. Go ahead, listen to the example and read it and answer the two questions. Okay, number one, really here, the woman is just, her voice is positive, her words are positive. Oh, I really enjoy it. You might enjoy it too. It's great, it's fun. Okay, number one, B, wonderful. A is negative, C is negative, D is negative. Too competitive, TOO, too means negative. Too hot, too cold. I ate too much food, negative. So positive, she's very positive. Her voice is positive, her words are positive, B. Question 2, the answer is C. Okay, the man is not comfortable. He's, the meetings are okay, but my chest might not be up to that level. Okay, even when you're not a little bit uncomfortable. Okay, C, he doesn't feel comfortable playing in the tournaments. All right, so listen to what the person says, how they say it, the tone of voice, and how they feel. Let's try a couple here together. Passage 1, course load. Now course load means how many courses you are carrying or taking, right? So if you're taking 6 courses this semester, then that is your course load. Okay? Now sometimes people might use hours. They might say my course load is 10 credit hours or 20 credit hours. So you could use it either way, because in university there's really 2 things: how many classes, but also how many credit hours you're taking. Either one. It's kind of the same thing, but a little bit different. Course load. Let's listen and focus on stance. Go ahead, passage 1. Okay, the advisor here says, I'd like to talk to you about the number of courses you'll be taking next semester. The woman is very positive about it. She says, I like to take the maximum number of courses. I want to work hard. I want to finish quickly. Blah, 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 blah. Positive, 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 positive. Number 1, B. It's the best thing to do. Number 2, the man's like, well, because you're taking the maximum most number of courses, I don't think you'll have enough time to put sufficient time and effort, enough time and effort. What is he saying? If you have too many courses, your grades will be lower. It's better to have fewer courses and higher grades. Makes sense. Number 2, C. Better work, fewer classes. She wants maximum class, finish, move on, but that might hurt her grades. Grades, of course, are very important. Number 1, B. Number 2, C. Passage 2, conversation, a questionnaire. Questionnaire is like a survey, okay? Similar to a survey. Notice the picture. They're not in class. It's 2 students. They're sitting in a park on campus talking about this questionnaire, this survey. Go ahead and listen. Okay, this is an interesting assignment we have for psychology class. Now, right away, always listen for stance, feeling. Always be aware of it. Don't focus on it. Right now, you're focusing on stance, feeling, opinion. Good, that's fine for now. But when you're listening in TOEFL, taking the test, don't focus on it, just be aware of it. Have it sort of register, because you will get questions like these, right? So again, you want to be listening, taking notes, key points, but be aware of the feelings of the speakers while you're listening. Interesting, when somebody repeats the word, it means they don't agree. Hey, that movie was wonderful last night. Wonderful? I hated the movie. Okay? Repeating it that way means you disagree. So it's not interesting. He says, it's gonna be a lot of work. Number 3, D. Synonyms. A lot of work, a lot of effort. Number 3, D. The woman, on the other hand, is like, oh, it's easy. We can do it in an afternoon. It sounds fun, easy, fun, good, positive. A, enjoyable. Enjoyable. Again, positive voice, positive tone, positive words, positive answer, A. B is negative, C is negative, and D is opposite. They're not responding, they're asking the questions. Number 3D, number 4A. That's all we have this week, but we have some more homework. Passages 3 and 4, page 154, Native American Studies, and page 155, hail, meteorology, hail. We'll learn what that is next time we have the next lecture video. Meteorology, do you remember? Study of the weather. Stop there. That's all you got to do, up to page 155. Okay, I'll review all the homework and everything else in the next video lecture in 2 weeks. This week, get the homework done. Send me an email by Thursday. Tell me that you did the homework and ask any questions that you have. Next week, during your class time, you will have a midterm test that you will write and send me the answers through email. I will send an email to you Monday morning early with more specific instructions. But be ready during your class time next week to take your midterm test. Have a great week, everyone. Get the email to me on time. Ask questions that you have. Work hard, study hard. Good luck. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.